A very good morning everyone, and welcome to a new daily market outlook for the 26th of January 2022. In today's market outlook, the major dollar pairs and gold are going to be discussed, so let's dive in and see what is going on. So first of all, of course, the daily on the dollar index, and the daily on the dollar index has been moving bullish. Still, we had a pretty slow day yesterday. As we can see on the 4-hour, we were pumping in the morning after my daily market outlook. And yeah, essentially what's been happening is that we've kind of reacted to this area of consolidation. So as you guys know, and as I explained on euro dollar, consolidation usually leads to consolidation. So for now, what is pretty much going on? Well, if you look at the daily, and on the daily, it's very, very visible. We have been reacting to, let's say, this area of supply. This area of supply caused the price to break structure and to break out of this range. And as we can clearly now see, we're pretty much just slowing down inside that area of supply. However, this area of supply is not fresh. So what can we see? Price straight after, once supply was formed, came back in towards supply and then dumped lower. Now, the second time we're coming back in towards supply once again, and we took out that first high of the first time that we tapped in towards this supply. And this essentially means for me that there's nothing really left inside this supply zone. If the supply zone was really that strong, we would have already seen a real push back down, in my opinion. So what I'm currently just looking at are further longs on the dollar in line with that daily trend and in line with the fundamentals. So yeah, the next kind of zone that I'm targeting is this area of supply, which starts at around 96.478. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the dollar. Let's head over to our first pair, which is Aussie dollar. And Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar has been moving up higher slightly since yesterday. Still a little bit slow in my opinion, not a very big movement. Pretty much the same as the dollar index. As we can see, this area of supply is still holding. What I would love to see still is a push up higher to then start looking for shorts. We still have this supply zone, even though it's not fresh, we could still move into it, then see further downside, or look at this buy over here before the big sell. And that is the next area of supply that I'll be looking at to trade from. Preferably, this is my kind of preferable zone. I adjusted it to the last candle, but it could also just take these 3 candles as my supply zone. So if we come in towards there, I will be looking for those shorts. In the meantime, like I said, like the dollar is bullish, so we could already see a dump further down on Aussie dollar. We've already made a nice retracement essentially over here on the 4-hour. So that dump could occur. However, it's not in my trading plan to just start randomly shorting from here. So I'll just personally be waiting to see if we move up higher, and if we move up higher, then I'll be looking for shorts. Otherwise, I will just be staying out of the market on Aussie dollar. Let's say we start crashing down, break this low, then I'll be looking to once again short from an area of supply. At the moment, Aussie dollar is just not ready for a trade in my opinion. However, it is still looking good for the downside overall due to the daily being bearish, the weekly being bearish, the 4-hour being bearish, and the dollar index being bullish. So that's that for Aussie dollar. Let's head over to euro dollar. And euro dollar. So euro dollar has been moving down further as we've pretty much anticipated last week and this week. As we can clearly see, we've just been chopping down in this channel in towards the downside. Not a fantastic pair to trade at the moment. Just remember, consolidation leads to consolidation. However, this morning there was a pretty nice setup on the lower time frame, because if you take these 2 wicks on the 4-hour, you'll see that on the lower time frame, this is going to be your area of supply. So now looking at the 15, we can clearly see that the 15-minute is in an obvious downtrend, as we can see, right? So then what happens this morning, market pulls back in towards this area of 15-minute supply, absolute perfection. And this is essentially your area of supply, which took out this low, market moves down, comes back in towards supply, and then starts moving down again in line with the higher time frame trend. So what I'm currently waiting for still is for us to break this swing low. For now, we've just seen a liquidity grab below it, and essentially we've tapped in towards, let's say, this, let me see, so not really anything actually, just this kind of area of support. So it's a pretty natural reaction. I'm not really seeing any areas of obvious demand. So in my opinion, we're soon going to start running that low and see euro dollar move down lower. that is pretty much just my opinion. So look for those kind of setups as I just showed to you guys on the 15-minute time frame. For the rest, on the 4-hour price action is not that clean, so yeah, you can't really see setup. But what you could look for is that, let's say we start breaking this 4-hour structure, then just wait for the pullback in towards supply and then look for a further short in line with the daily and the weekly structure. So that's that for your dollar. Let's head over to pound dollar. And pound dollar has started pulling back. So what we really nicely saw was kind of this double bottom. So this low was formed, price comes underneath it one more time, and then the reversal comes in, as we can clearly see, currently pulling back after this leg down. So for now, what I'm waiting for is essentially at least to pull back in towards this area of 4-hour supply, and then I'll be looking for those shorts over here. We just have a clean move in the market, so nothing really to short from in my opinion. So I'll just be waiting for pound dollar to move up a little bit higher before looking for any shorts to trade pound dollar down lower in line with the overall daily trend. We're still stalling inside this area of daily demand, which I pointed out at the beginning of this week already. But this area of daily demand is not that strong anymore because of the amount of lowness, or how low we've pushed in towards the zone. It kind of identifies, or it kind of represents that there's not a lot of demand left in it. So what I would love to see is a pullback in towards here on the daily, and then on the 4-hour look for those shorts from that zone, from let's say either these imbalances over here, or of course this zone number 2 with this area of supply over here, which took out this low. So that's that for pound dollar. Hope that is pretty clear for you guys. And now let's head over to Kiwi dollar. Kiwi dollar, last and not least, of course we still have gold by the way guys, but looking at Kiwi dollar, we saw that daily break of structure, so we are bearish on the daily. Now looking at the 4-hour, what we can clearly see on the 4 hours that we're pretty overextended in towards the downside, right? So what I'm now waiting for still is a pullback to start occurring. What do we need for that? Well, we could for instance dive in towards the 1-hour time frame, and we could say that we need to start breaking this high before really looking for any longs to play that pullback back in towards 4-hour supply. So Kiwi dollar is also a pair that I'm just sitting on my hands for. I still need to push up higher essentially to look for any nice longs, or for any nice shorts, excuse me, in line with the daily and the 4-hour structure. So we need a pullback, and then we will be looking for shorts. In the meantime, nothing really to be said about Kiwi dollar, just that we need to see that pullback, and that is personally what I will be waiting for. So let's head over to our last pair, which is gold. And gold. So gold had a beautiful pop above the daily trend line, as we can clearly see, to grab some liquidity which lies above it, pretty much as anticipated. What we can now currently see is that if we look at the daily, and let's adjust this zone to the daily, and let's take that last buy to sell candle, we can clearly see that we popped in towards that as supply and are now reacting to it. So what I'm currently watching is how we are going to be reacting on the lower time frame, because if we look at the daily over here, we do have some beautiful demand located over here. However, if we pop in towards there on the daily, or if we pop in towards that zone essentially is below the current 4-hour structure. So this is now your 4-hour swing high that got broken. This has now become your 4-hour low. So excuse me, this low over here. So what does that mean? We need to respect this low to remain bullish. However, if it pops in towards that daily zone, that means that the 4-hour will flip bearish. However, then you could essentially just trade the pullback for that bearish structure. However, I'm not sure if it's going to pull back down that deep. I'll be keeping my eyes out for this bearish candle over here, see if we can form support over there before looking for any further upside in line with the bearish structure on gold. But for me, still, gold is pretty messy. It is nice, however, to see that we grabbed liquidity above the high, above that trend line, and tapped in towards that daily area of supply. But yeah, stay safe on gold, because gold is a very, very risky pair at this moment. So let's just keep an eye out for this zone for now and see if we can look at, for instance, the 15-minute to trade in line with that 15-minute trend. So yeah, that is that for gold, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in as per usual. I wish you all a fantastic day. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me through Discord, links in the description down below, and have a great day. Thanks, guys.